Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Quote of the day: you were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. Today, the topic of my presentation is contemporary theories of motivation, and I am presenting it under supervision of my professor, Dr. Saira Afzal. Learning outlines: three needs theory, goal setting theory, reinforcement theory, job characteristics model, equity theory, expectancy theory, recent updates, and MCQs in the end. Learning objectives: by the end of this presentation, participants would be able to describe different types of contemporary theories of motivation along with the implications and limitations. Now, what is motivation? The process that account for an individual's intensity, direction, and persistence of effort towards attaining a goal. Intensity means that how hard a person tries. Direction means effort that is channeled towards and consistent with organizational goals. And persistence is how long a person can maintain effort. So it is the processes that account for individuals' willingness to exert high levels of effort to reach organizational goals, conditioned by the effort's ability to satisfy some individual needs. So, contemporary theories of motivation consist of following these theories. First comes three needs theory, then goal setting theory, reinforcement theory, job characteristics model, equity theory, and expectancy theory. First is David McClelland's theory of needs. It means that an individual's specific needs are acquired over time and are shaped by one's life experience, and most of these needs can be classified. So it consists of main three needs, that is need for achievement, need for power, need for affiliation. Need for achievement is the drive to excel, to achieve in relation to a set of standards, to strive to succeed. And the person who has a need for affiliation means that he has a desire for friendly and close personal relationships. And the person having a need for power means that he has the need to make others behave in a way that they would not have behaved otherwise. So need for achievement, if it is high, he must win at any cost, must be on top and receive credit. If it is low, fears failure, avoids responsibility. And need for affiliation, if it is high, means demands blind loyalty and harmony, does not tolerate disagreement. And if it is low, it remains aloof, maintains social distance. Need for power, if it is high, means desires control of everyone and everything, exaggerates own position and resources. And if it is low, it means that the person is dependent, subordinate. It minimizes own position and resources. Effect on management. McClelland said that people usually contain a combination of these three types of motivation and proposed that those in the top management position should have a high need for power and a low need for affiliation. That people with high need for achievement will succeed best when given projects with attainable goals, and although individuals with a need for achievement can make good managers, they are not suited to being in the top management positions. So if we talk about need for achievement, so such type of person has a strong need to set and accomplish challenging goals, takes calculated risk to accomplish their goals, likes to receive regular feedback on their progress and achievements, and often links to work alone. Then comes a person who has need for power. That is, he wants to control and influence others, likes to win arguments, enjoys competition and winning, enjoys status and recognition. Then comes a person with the need for affiliation. Means that he wants to belong to the group. He does not like high risk or uncertainty. He wants to be liked. He favors collaboration over competition. So using this theory, people motivated by achievements give them challenging, they should be motivated by giving them challenging jobs, keeping them engaged, giving fair and balanced feedback. And people motivated by affiliations through integrating them with a team, giving mild works, giving feedback in private. Then people motivated by power through giving them the charge, giving them negotiations work, and giving direct feedback. So benefits of this theory is tailor task delegation, reduce excuses for poor performance, and boost staff satisfaction. Then comes the limitations. According to this theory, every person has three types of need, maybe in varying degrees. The motivator should use motivators to the extent to which each person needs it. Each person has physiological and safety needs also, which must also be satisfied. So, need and satisfaction of needs is a physiological thing. Sometimes even the person may not be aware of his own needs. In such a case, it will be difficult for the manager to understand the employee's needs. There is no direct cause and effect relationship between need and behavior. One particular need may cause different types of behavior in different persons. On the other hand, a particular individual behavior may be the result of different needs. The physiological and safety needs are most important as compared to McClelland's needs, which are not addressed in this theory. So these are the limitations of McClelland's needs theory. Then comes goal setting theory. In 1960s, Edwin Locke put forward the goal-setting theory of motivation. It states that goal setting is essentially linked to task performance. It states that specific and challenging goals along with appropriate feedback contribute to higher and better task performance. In simple words, goals indicate and give direction to an employee about what needs to be done and how much efforts are required to be put in. So these are the features of the goal-setting theory. First comes the willingness to work towards attainment of goals is one of the main sources of job motivation. Clear, particular, and difficult goals are greater motivating factors than easy, general, and vague goals. Specific and clear goals lead to greater output and better performance. Goals should be realistic and challenging. This gives an individual a feeling of pride and triumph when he attains them and sets him for attainment of the next goals. Misunderstanding should be avoided by setting unambiguous, measurable, and clear goals accompanied by a deadline for completion of each goal. So these are the 5 principles, that is clarity, committed action, support system, focus on progress over perfection, and flexibility. Advantages. Goal setting theory is a technique used to raise incentives for employees to complete work quickly and effectively. It leads to better performance by increasing motivation and efforts, but also through increasing and improving the feedback quality. Limitations. At times, the organizational goals are in conflict with the managerial goals. Goal conflict has a detrimental effect on the performance if it motivates incompatible action drift. Very difficult and complex goals stimulate riskier behavior. If the employee lacks skills and competencies to perform actions essential for goal, then the goal setting can fail and lead to undermining of performance. There is no evidence to prove that goal setting improves job satisfaction. Then comes reinforcement theory. It was proposed by Skinner and Associates. It states that individual behavior is a function of its consequences. It is based on law of effect, that is, individual behavior with positive consequences tends to be repeated, but individuals' behavior with negative consequences tends not to be repeated. So these are the 4 types of reinforcement, like positive reinforcement, in which when new behaviors add positive consequences. Negative reinforcement, when new behaviors remove negative consequences. Then comes punishment, when new behaviors add negative consequences. And extension, when new behaviors remove positive consequences. So if we talk about reinforcement theory in the workplace, like positive reinforcements, as we have talked that it provides rewards to reinforce desired behavior. For example, manager praising an employee. So it would be a positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement, remove aversive stimuli to reinforce behavior, like eliminating tedious tasks when an employee starts meeting deadlines. Punishment. Deliver aversive stimuli or remove pleasant stimuli to change behavior. For example, criticism, demotion, or removing flexible work hours. And then extinction. Withhold valued consequences to lower negative behavior over time. For example, manager ignoring the behavior. Importance of this theory is that it can be used to motivate people and to put them in action. Motivation is very important because of the following benefits it provides. Puts human resources into action, improves level of efficiency of people, leads to achievement of organizational or individual goals, builds friendly relationship due to internal satisfaction. Limitation. Overemphasis on behavior, ignoring genetic and biological factors, limited applicability to complex behaviors, Ethical concerns, like Skinner's use of behavior modification techniques such as operant conditioning, has been criticized for being dehumanizing and manipulative. Then the last limitation is lack of emphasis on cognition and internal mental processes. Then comes job characteristics model. It is a conceptual framework for designing motivating jobs that create meaningful work experiences that is satisfy employees' growth needs. 5 primary job characteristics are skill variety, that is how many skills and talents are needed. Then comes task identity. Does the job produce completed work? Task significance. This how important is the job? Then comes autonomy. How independence do the job holder have? Then comes feedback. Do workers know how well they are doing? So these are the 5 primary job characteristics. Job should combine tasks to create more meaningful work, that is job enlargement. Should create natural work units to make employees' work important and whole. Establish external and internal client relationships to provide feedback. And expand jobs vertically by giving employees more autonomy. Open feedback channels to let employees know how well they are doing. The job should be designed keeping in mind the environment, technology, employee skill and preferences. Then the jobs become motivating. So, manager designs motivating jobs through these 2 parameters: job enlargement, which is the horizontal expansion of a job that occurs as a result of different tasks required to complete a job. Then comes job enrichment. This is the vertical expansion of a job that occurs as a result of additional planning and evaluation of responsibilities. So core dimensions of job, as we have already talked about, that is skill variety, which is the degree to which the job requires different skills and talents in a person. Task identity, doing the job from beginning to end with a visible outcome. Task significance, the degree to which the job has a substantial impact on the lives of others. Then comes autonomy, the degree to which job provides substantial freedom, independence, and discretion to person performing the job. Then comes job feedback. It is the degree to which there is clear information regarding the effectiveness of the job being done. This is the overall summarization of job characteristic model, in which first there is implementing concept, that is combining tasks, forming natural work units, vertical loading, opening feedback channels. Then comes core job dimensions, which were 5 in number, as we have already talked: skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, feedbacks. Then they all together form critical psychological states, that is experience meaningfulness, knowledge of the actual results of the work activities, and experience responsibility for outcome of the work. Then it leads to personal and work outcomes, that is high internal work motivation, high quality work performance, high satisfaction with the work, and low absenteeism and turnover. Then comes Karasik model. Karasik developed the demand control model of job stress in 1979 and published his findings. In his article, he defined 2 key parameters that affect the amount of stress that people experience: job demands and decision latitude. Job demands are stressors in the work environment, such as tight deadlines, high targets, regular interruptions, conflicting pressures. And decision latitude, also known as autonomy, refers to the extent to which people can control their work. So these are the 2 parameters which leads to the 4 types of jobs: low strain jobs, which consist of high job control and low job demands. Then comes the active job, in which there is high job demand and high job control. And it is active learning motivation to develop new behavioral pattern. Then there is a third type, that is passive job, in which there is low job control and low job demands. Then comes high strain job, in which there is low job control but high job demands. And in this type, there is risk of psychiatric and psychological strain, and physical illness. Then comes equity theory. It proposes that employees perceive what they get from a job situation, that is outcomes, in relation to what they put in, that is inputs, and then compare their inputs outputs ratio with the inputs outcomes ratio of relevant others. If the ratios are perceived as equal, then a state of equity or fairness exists, as we can see here. And if the ratios are perceived as unequal, inequity exists and the person feels either under or over rewarded. like in these cases, the first and the third one. And when inequities occur, employers will attempt to do something to rebalance the ratio, that is to seek justice. So, balance or imbalance of rewards leads to inequitable rewards, leading to dissatisfaction, reduced output, departure from organization. And equitable rewards leads to continuation at the same level of output. More than equitable rewards leads to harder works. Now, assumptions of this equity theory here. The theory demonstrates that individuals are concerned both with their own rewards and also with what others get in their comparison. Employees expect a fair and equitable return from their contribution to their jobs. Employees decide what their equitable return should be after comparing their inputs and outcomes with those of their colleagues. And employees who perceive themselves as being in an inequitable scenario will attempt to reduce the inequity either by distorting inputs or outcomes physiologically, psychologically, by directly altering inputs or outputs, or by quitting the organization. Then comes expectancy theory. It states that an individual tends to act in a certain way based on the expectation that the act will be followed by a given outcome and on the attractiveness of that outcome to the individual. Key to the theory is understanding and managing employee goals and the linkages among and between effort, performance, and rewards. Effort means employee abilities and training development, performance valid appraisal system, and rewards for understanding employee needs. So in this theory, the motivational force is the product of three main factors: expectancy, instrumentality, balance. So motivational force is the extent to which a person is likely to engage in a certain course of action. And expectancy is belief that an increase in effort will result in an increase in performance. And instrumentality is belief that increased performance will lead to certain outcomes. And balance is the extent to which the outcome is desirable. So this is how that it starts from expectancy, then leads to instrumentality, and then balance, that is reward in the end. So Vroom's expectancy theory is that first there is effort. Expectancy believe that if I try hard, I can do better. Performance, then it leads to performance. And instrumentalities believe that if I do better, I get a better reward. Then comes outcome, leading to valence, that is value of the outcome to the person versus indifference or aversion, all leading to motivational force. Advantages, it is based on self-interest individual who wants to achieve maximum satisfaction and who wants to minimize dissatisfaction. This theory stresses upon the expectations and perception. What is